I didn't have a job. I didn't have a lot of money, and I definitely didn't have it all figured out. But I knew one thing. I didn't want to struggle with money like my parents did. I wanted freedom. So I started learning how to invest as a teenager. No one taught me. I just figured it out, step by step. And today, I'm in my 20s, debt-free, and my investments are already paying me. In this video, I'll show you how to do the same thing, starting today. Frustration. Back then, I felt completely lost. I'd sit in school, hearing teachers talk about algebra, poetry, ancient civilizations, but no one ever mentioned taxes, credit scores, investing. Not once. And every time I asked about money, someone would say, "You'll figure it out when you're older." But I didn't want to wait. I was already watching my parents struggle with bills. They worked hard, so hard, and still barely got by. I kept thinking, there has to be another way. So I did what every teenager does. I turned to Google. How to get rich as a teen. How to make passive income. How to invest with no money. What I found? Drop shipping. Crypto. Trading cards. Reselling sneakers. Hustling 24/7. It looked cool. Flashy. Easy. People my age were buying Rolexes, renting Lambos, but something felt off. Still, I was curious, so I tried some of it. Sold a few things online. Dabbled in crypto without understanding a thing. Clicked on a few get-rich-quick courses that promised thousands in days. And yeah, I lost money. Not a lot, but enough to feel it. Worse than the money was the feeling. Embarrassed, frustrated, like a fool. I thought I was behind. I started questioning myself. Am I just dumb with money? Maybe this isn't for people like me. I almost gave up. Closed the tabs, deleted the apps, said to myself, just focus on school like everyone else. Forget all this. But that's when something inside me clicked. Something quiet but stubborn. I realized, I don't want to wait until I'm 30 to start figuring this out. If I can learn math and science, I can learn money too. And that was the moment everything started to change. Self-awareness. I stumbled onto a video where someone said, the best time to start investing was yesterday. The second best time is today. And I thought, why not me? I didn't need to be rich. I didn't need to wait until I was 30. I just needed to start small. No hype, just real steps. And I realized, I don't have to make a lot of money to start investing. I have to start investing to eventually make a lot of money. That mindset shift changed my life. Extended version. Here's exactly how I started investing as a teenager. With barely any money, no fancy degree, and no rich parents. No tricks, no shortcuts, no overnight success stories. Just a process anyone can follow. Understand the goal. This is where most people mess up. They think investing as a teen is about getting rich by 18. The real goal? Start early. Let time work for you. Because here's the truth. You can invest less money than someone older and still end up with more wealth just because you started sooner. Let's say two people invest. One starts at 18, investing $50 a month. One starts at 28, investing $150 a month. Guess who ends up with more by retirement? The 18-year-old. Every time. Time is your cheat code. Use it. Open the right account. If you're under 18, you'll need a custodial account. Basically, an account your parent or guardian helps you manage. No, it doesn't mean they control your money forever. It just lets you legally start. Platforms like Fidelity Youth, Greenlight, Acorns, Early, let you invest safely with guidance. If you're 18 plus, congrats. You can open your own brokerage account. I started with Robinhood and Webull because they were beginner friendly. But later, I moved to Vanguard and Fidelity for long-term growth. Pick what works for you, but just get started. Start small, like really small. When I say I started with $10, I mean it. I literally skipped a fast food meal and put that money into my investments. And here's the wild part. That $10, it turned into $12, then $15, then more. Why? Because of compound growth. That means your money earns money, and then that money earns money. It snowballs, quietly, powerfully. With fractional shares, you don't need hundreds of dollars. You can buy pieces of big stocks or ETFs, even if a full share costs $400. No excuses. $5 is enough to start. I didn't try to be a Wall Street genius. I didn't chase meme stocks or gamble on crypto. I picked something boring, and it worked. My go-to? Index funds, specifically ETFs like VOO SPY VTI. These track the entire market. You're basically buying a tiny piece of hundreds of companies. Apple, Google, Amazon, Coca-Cola, all in one fund. They're low risk, low fee, and they grow with the economy. no drama, no stress, just growth. You don't need to guess winners. You just need to own the whole game. Make it a habit or automate it. This was my biggest unlock. I didn't wait for the right time to invest. I picked every Friday as my investing day. $5, $10, whatever I had. Even if I was broke, I showed up. And eventually, I automated it. Now, money leaves my account automatically and goes into my investments. I don't even think about it. Just like brushing your teeth. It became routine, effortless. And over time, that habit turned into real wealth. Let me be clear, I didn't have it all figured out. But I had a system, and I stuck to it. That's how I built a portfolio, as a teenager, that's now growing on autopilot. Most teenagers don't realize this, but you can completely change your financial future just by starting early. Not with thousands of dollars, not with genius-level knowledge, just with time and consistency. I'm not talking about flipping crypto or chasing hype stocks. I'm talking about slow, steady, unstoppable wealth. The kind of wealth that grows while you sleep. The kind that doesn't crash when trends fade. Here's the magic. If you start at 16 and invest just $50 a month, you'll have more by age 60 than someone who waits until they're 30 and invests $200 a month. Why? Because the early start gives your money more time to grow and compound. And compound growth is like planting a tree. At first, it's just a seed. You water it. You don't see much happening. But years later, it's a whole forest. I didn't come from money. I didn't have rich parents. I didn't have some high-paying side hustle. I wasn't a financial genius. I was just a regular teen who didn't want to stay broke forever. But what I did have was time, and I chose to use it differently. While others were blowing money on skins, shoes, or stuff they'd forget in a week, I was buying assets. Not because I was smarter, but because I was hungry for freedom. Now, my investments grow while I sleep. My money works harder than I do. And it all started with a single decision and just $10. Common teen mistakes. Let's be honest. Most teens give up on investing before they even get started. Not because they're lazy, not because they're dumb, but because the game is rigged with unrealistic expectations. Social media makes it worse. You open TikTok or Instagram and see kids with designer clothes, private jets, seven-figure side hustles, and you start thinking, why am I even bothering with $20 a month? I'm so far behind. But here's the truth. Most of that is fake, rented, filtered, fabricated for views. The danger isn't that you're not rich yet. The danger is believing you're failing just because someone else is flaunting fast money. That's how burnout starts. You compare. You feel small. You think, I'm doing everything right, and I still don't see results. So you quit. Here's how to avoid that trap. Don't rush. Real wealth takes years, not weeks. The market rewards the patient, not the loudest. Don't compare. Your life isn't a highlight reel. Focus on your lane. Run your race. You're not late. You're early. Don't stop. Even if it feels slow. Even if no one around you understands what you're doing. Keep going. Because most people your age aren't even thinking about investing. They're focused on flexing. You're focused on building. And that makes you rare. Every month you invest, even just $5, you're telling your future self, I've got your back. That's power. That's maturity. That's freedom. Celebrate that. Not the dollar amount, not the charts, but the discipline of showing up over and over again when no one's clapping for you yet, because someday they will. When I started investing as a teenager, people laughed. They said things like, why not just enjoy life? You've got time. Don't worry about money now. But here's what they didn't understand. I wasn't sacrificing my youth. I was securing my freedom. While others were spending everything, I was building something. And now I'm watching it grow. If you're a teen watching this, here's your reminder. You don't need a six-figure income. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to start. Today. Right now. And one day, you'll be glad you did. Click the link down below for more resources to help you get started with investing.